Hey gang, and welcome back. Just a reminder, you can now use the promo code MTGMudsta, all caps, at flipsidegaming.com. You'll get 10% off orders over $10 and help with the channel at the same time. Hey gang, and welcome back. This week we have another tasty EDH game just for you guys. This week I'm playing my Karador deck, and I keep a hand with Buried Alive, Animate Dead, Bloodstained Mire, Command Tower, Mana Confluence, Swamp, and Birds of Paradise. Sean is playing Nazahn, Revered Bladesmith, and he keeps a hand with Rogue's Passage, Forest, Soul Ring, Traverse the Outlands, Loxodon Punisher, Recollect, and Bloodforged Battleaxe. Harry is trying out his new Ramos deck and keeps a hand with Progenitus, Cultivate, Urban Evolution, Mirari's Wake, Mountain, and Arcane Sanctum. Lastly, Dale is playing Kiki-Jiki, and he keeps a hand with 2 Mountains, Combat Celebrant, Soul Ring, Shattering Spree, and Abbot of Carroll Keep. Dale wins the die roll and starts us off. For the first turn of the game, Dale plays a Mountain and casts Soul Ring. Harry plays Temple of Enlightenment and Scries. Sean plays a Forest and casts his own Soul Ring and then drops Bloodforged Battleaxe before passing to me. I play a Forest and cast Birds of Paradise. Dale plays a Mountain for his turn and casts Shattering Spree targeting Sean's axe. Dale then follows up with a Matter Reshaper and passes to Harry. Harry plays an Arcane Sanctum and casts his own Soul Ring, leaving me to feel pretty left out. Sean plays a Rogue's Passage and casts Recollect to grab his Battleaxe. He then recasts it. For my turn, I play Command Tower and cast Buried Alive, dumping Mindslicer, Razaketh, and Recruiter of the Guard into my graveyard. On Dale's turn, he plays a Mountain and drops a cool turn 3 Kiki-Jiki. Moving to combat, the Reshaper hits me for 3 and Dale passes to Harry. Harry plays a Mountain and severely lacking green has to pass his turn. Sean plays a Plains and drops Loxodon Punisher before passing to me. For my turn, I play a Swamp and cast Animate Dead to bring back Razaketh. With nothing else, I pass to Dale. For Dale's turn, he plays Combat Celebrant during his first main phase, and in response, I float 1 white with the Birds of Paradise before sacrificing it and taking 2 damage to find a card with Razaketh. As I am now threatening an exile spell, Dale doesn't want to push his luck too much, so he passes to Harry. Harry misses his land drop for turn and has no choice but to pass to Sean. Sean casts Thalia, Heretic Cathar in his first main phase, and he equips the axe onto the Loxodon. Moving to combat, he swings at Harry, as Harry is the only one without blockers, and upon dealing combat damage, gets to create a token copy of the Bloodforged Battleaxe. With nothing else, Sean passes to me. For my turn, I play a Forest during my first main phase, and moving to combat, I swing my Razaketh at Dale for 7. At the end of my second main phase, as I passed my turn, Dale creates a copy of Matter Reshaper with Kiki-Jiki. This dies at the end of my turn, and Dale reveals a Mountain off the top, which he gets to put into play. During Dale's first main phase, he casts Chaos Warp in my Command Tower, which I respond to by tapping it for 1 white. I reveal Reclamation Sage, which I get to put into play, and upon entering, I use its trigger to destroy Dale's Soul Ring. Still concerned about that 1 floating white mana, Dale plays Ramunap Ruins and passes to Harry. For Harry's turn, he can't do much, but decides to cast Epiphany at the Drownyard during his first main phase. Harry makes 2 piles, and Dale helps him out by giving the pile with the land in it. Harry then plays the Mountain and passes turn, discarding Progenitus during his cleanup step. Sean casts Cultivate during his first main phase, putting a Plains onto the field and a Forest to his hand, which he plays as his land for turn. Sean then casts Song of the Dryads on my Razaketh, and we can't find a clear definition on what exactly happens, so we make a judgment call that everything remains. I'm sure someone can clear this up in the comment section, but in response, I sacrifice the Reclamation Sage to Razaketh, taking 2 to find a card. Moving to combat, Sean swings at Harry again, and Harry takes 6, and Sean gets another copy of Bloodforged Battleaxe. For my turn, I play a Plains and pass turn. Dale once again copies the Matter Reshaper at the end of my second main phase, and as it dies at my end step, he reveals Molten Primordial, which puts into his hand. Dale has no land for turn unfortunately, and instead casts Outraged Shaman, who deals 6 damage to Sean's Thalia. Dale then forces my hand by tapping Kiki-Jiki to make a copy of a target creature, which in this case is the Celebrant, and I respond by exiling it with Path to Exile. Dale grabs a Mountain, and with nothing else, passes to Harry. Harry finally gets to get some green mana as he casts Commander Sphere before casting his own Cultivate, grabbing a Forest for the field and putting 1 into his hand. Harry then plays the Forest he found and passes to Sean. For Sean's turn, during his first main phase, he plays Hammer of Nazahn, which he equips onto the Loxodon. He then moves one of the copies of the axes onto the Loxodon and swings him at me for 12. I respond by casting Chord of Calling for 1 at the end of his Declare Attacker step, finding Viscera Seer. I chump with a Seer and sacrifice it to scry 1 card, which I put on the bottom, to prevent Sean from getting 2 more axes and attaching them for free thanks to the hammer. With nothing else, Sean passes to me. For my turn, I play Mana Confluence, then tapping it and taking 1 and tapping the rest of my lands, I cast Sun Titan to bring back the Recruiter of the Guard. I find Peacekeeper and put it into my hand before passing to Dale. Dale plays a mountain for his land drop and casts Abbot of Carroll Keep, who exiles Fire Diamond. Dale then casts the Fire Diamond and plays his own copy of Commander's Sphere before passing to Harry. Harry plays a Swamp for his turn, then casts Mirari's Wake before casting Rude Awakening to untap his lands. Harry then casts Ramos, Dragon Engine, and plays Swarm Intelligence, which gives Ramos a counter. Harry then casts Urban Evolution, giving Ramos 2 more counters, drawing 6 cards, and is able to play 2 extra lands if he's able to find them. Harry does manage this, and he plays Temple of Silence, scrying the top card to the bottom before playing Crumbling Necropolis and passing to Sean. For Sean's turn, he casts Traverse the Outlands during his first main phase, whereas Loxodon's power is 12. He goes to find 12 basics, and Dale and I make a truce because that's a lot of land. Sean then moves the remaining Axe tokens onto the Loxodon and smashes into Harry for 18. Sean then gets 3 more Axe tokens and is able to equip them all into the Loxodon thanks to the hammer. On my upkeep, I cast Vampiric Tutor to find an answer for these growing board state problems, and I find one, putting it on top at the cost of 2 life. I draw it for turn before I play Bloodstained Mire from my land drop, and I crack it, taking 1 to find a swamp. I then cast Bane of Progress, which does a nice job of settling the board state, and Dale and Harry both sacrifice their spheres to draw a card. Bane of Progress gets a ton of counters, and moving to combat, I hit Harry with my Recruiter and Sun Titan triggers, bringing back Animate Dead, which in turn brings back Razaketh. Dale plays a mountain for his turn, and casts Inferno Titan, opting not to kill Harry. His reasoning is because, and I quote, he can kill him at any time he wants. Dale instead directs the Inferno Titan's trigger towards Sean, who has remained unscathed this entire game, dealing 3 damage before passing his turn. For Harry's turn, he casts Eternal Witness to bring back Mirari's Wake. Feeling very much like he's been the target this entire game, Harry passes to Sean and leaves his fate up to chance. For Sean's turn, he casts Nazahn, Revered Bladesmith, and he gets to go find Nim Deathmantle, which he then casts. Sean then casts Swiftfoot Boots and equips them onto the Loxodon. Sean realizes he can't attack Dale or myself profitably, and taking pity on Harry, passes to me. At the end of his turn, I sacrifice the Recruiter with Razaketh, taking 2 and finding a card. For my turn, I move to combat, swinging pretty much everything I have at Dale. Dale responds to my Sun Titan's trigger, and creates a copy of his Outraged Shaman. He targets the Outraged Shaman's trigger, killing Razaketh, and then uses the token copy to chump the Bane of Progress. With all that resolving, I get to bring back Recruiter of the Guard, and I reveal Grim Haruspex and put it into my hand. Dale then takes the damage from Sun Titan, and moving to my second main phase, I cast Grim Haruspex, taking 1 from Mana Confluence, and then follow up with Toxic Illuge, paying 6 life to wipe the board. I lose Sun Titan and Recruiter and draw 2, and Dale loses his Matter Reshaper, which reveals her Mere Retriever. Sean also loses his Nazahn, but he brings it back with his Nim Deathmantle, and he gets to find another equipment, which this time is Conqueror's Flail. With nothing else, I pass to Dale. Dale's turn is quite quick, and he recasts Kiki-Jiki for his turn and passes to Harry. At the end of Dale's turn, Harry casts Sphinx's Revelation for 4, gaining 4 life and drawing 4 cards. Harry casts Mirari's Wake, and then casts Mystical Retrieval to return Rude Awakening. He then casts the aptly named Rude Awakening spell and untaps all of his land, and casts All Sun's Dawn to bring back Rude Awakening for green, Sphinx's Revelation for white, Swarm Intelligence for blue, Mizzix's Mastery for red, and Anguish Unmaking for black. Harry then recasts Swarm Intelligence and casts Rude Awakening with a free twin cast thanks to the Swarm Intelligence. He floats 20 mana after his first untap and then gets to untap again. Harry then casts Unexpected Results, or as he calls it, his Secret Commander, and gets to put another copy on the stack. Harry reveals Nomad Outpost after his first shuffle, which he gets to put into play, and shuffles up again to find Explosive Vegetation, which he gets to cast twice. Harry then casts Ramos, and casts Steam Augur twice. He gets to put 2 counters on Ramos, and he chooses me to pick the first pile, and I give him 4 without Mana Geyser. Dale then gets to pick the next pile, and he gives Harry Naya Charm, which Harry then casts twice to return Mana Geyser and Rude Awakening to his hand. Ramos gains 3 counters from the charm, and Harry then gets to twin cast Mana Geyser, gaining 56 red mana and potentially beating Ken's old record. Harry then casts the demand side of the split card and finds Villainous Wealth, which, with his current setup, he's able to continually cast Villainous Wealth and basically take us all out. Game review time. So, Ramos, that was definitely something. Harry didn't even need to use its activated ability to get 10 mana since he was able to generate 1 billion mana in this sweet Spellslinger deck that he's made. I can easily see now why Harry loves Swarm Intelligence so much, and Rude Awakening did a lot of work in this deck. To be fair, Harry did a good job of politicking because he was able to convince us all to not kill him since he basically had nothing, or so we thought. Sean is madly in love with Bloodforged Axe, and rightly so. This wasn't even the best game to showcase the axe doing its work, as Sean's been able to get at least 16 copies out in one game. It's a fun deck, and Stoneforge Mystic is a pretty powerful effect to sit in the command zone. Dale probably had the best start out of all of us, but unfortunately his combos were unable to go off as I had a way to exile the creature that was in a combo with Kiki-Jiki, or Sean had his Thalia on the field, which meant the tokens that would come into play would be tapped. I did like the interaction between Matter Reshaper and Kiki-Jiki, as it was pseudo card advantage, and was able to get him a couple of lands and a few good cards to his hand. Karador as a deck unfortunately disappointed me a little bit this game, but I've become very enamored with Drazaketh. In retrospect, I think using Court of Calling to find the Viscera Seer was a mistake, and I should have instead waited until later on, and probably found something like Eidolon the Rhetoric, or at the very least, saved Court of Calling until Harry looked like he was about to storm off like he did, and then do it. Please be sure to tune in every Monday at 11 AM Eastern Standard Time for a guaranteed new video, with a second video popping up sometime during the week. You can also follow me on Twitter at MTGMudsta, or check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/MTGMudsta. This video is brought to you in part by support from my Patreons. If you're looking for a way to help out the channel, please be sure to visit the link below or in the About section. As always, thank you guys for watching, and please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more.